and welcome back. Okay, two cards came out, one in the reverse, one in the upright. Your ex is not sleeping. The person you're connected into at the moment, peace reversed. They've got no peace. Okay, they're going round and round and round in circles in their mind. And what I'm hearing them saying is, how did I get here again? So this isn't the first time they've done this, but I feel what they did this time was they burnt so many bridges with you. They've really messed up. Someone has massively messed up here. They just have started to realise the mistakes they've made, okay? You know, I'm going to say this as sort of an analogy. You know, when all of a sudden it hits you and you think, goodness gracious, that happened, I did that, I said that, you know, etc, etc. That's the energy they're in at the moment. Okay, so they've got no peace. Got no peace at all because they've messed up. They've messed up badly. Okay, let us see what they'd like to say to you. Ben, have a look at their environment today. I just feel like everything's cracking. I feel they're cracking actually. I heard the word cracking. Like they just can't carry on much longer. And they can't carry on much longer in the environment they're in. That's what I'm hearing. So let's go. Let's give these a shuffle. Just while I'm shuffling though, I hope you're all well. Thanks so much for watching. All your likes, all your comments. I do read all my comments. And I send you a massive hug. Massive hug for those of you today who are going through some tough times. If you'd like a reading, just click on the title of the video, okay? Links to the website are in the description box. All the readings are on there. Ooh. And also check out the free relationship report. And if you're new here and you want to see more content, if you wouldn't mind subscribing and hitting that notification bell, that would be great. These are very... Do you know something? This is going to sound crazy, but it's not. The cards are flowing, like they feel very light. These messages, I feel, are bang on today. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. All right. Whether they're spiritual or not, the crux of that energy is that they're... I think they're grateful it's happened, even though they're in a mess. They're starting to realise that they've been going round and round in circles for quite a lot of their life, repeating the same mistakes, okay? And they've realised that. And that is so amazing, because once you realise it and you take a step back and you think, you know what, I need to change something here. I need to change something about me, how I'm reacting, my subconscious beliefs. They've realised, okay, they want to be more than friends. So if you have started possibly to communicate with this person, or you're just, you know, you're polite to each other, but there's nothing else going on, they want more than that, okay? I remember every detail of that day. So there's a particular day that you will know exactly what that day is, and so do they. It was the day when it finally snapped. I'm hearing the day that you finally snapped, actually, and you suffered losses and you lost out in the physical. And by that I mean, physical means, you know, your environment, your house, your finances, that kind of stuff. But you'd had enough. Now, they didn't expect this, Spirit's saying to me. They expected you to disappear maybe for a while, but they thought you'd come back. They thought you'd contact them, or they thought that you'd just brush it under the carpet again. Okay, because you're very understanding of this person, but you didn't. You didn't. I feel for them, they remember a day and you'd gone, okay, you'd left, your relationship was over. I'm hearing they remembered the day where they were when they realised that was that. It was done. It was done. Okay. Let me just have a look at your energy before we go any deeper into this connection you've got. What's the energy for the person this reading relates to? Yeah, you've realised that all that glitters isn't gold. basically you're very trusting, okay? And if somebody, you know, says to you, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to support you, or whatever the conversation was, you really do believe it, okay? But you've realised this has changed your view, okay? You've realised all that glitters isn't gold, and you are stepping into the energy of coming to the edge, okay? So this card speaks about, it's like the equivalent of the Fool in the tarot deck. You know, you realise that there's more to life, and you want to take a leap of faith, maybe in another direction. You've realised you're okay without this person. You've realised you're whole and complete, and can manage. I heard the words manage, okay? You might have been in a slightly codependent relationship, and that happens. There's many reasons why we can become codependent. Childhood usually is the root of it. But then if you've got somebody who's nice to you and then they're not, and your brain starts forming a trauma bond, and you feel that you need that person to validate you, okay? I think, to be honest with us, we're all like that at some point, okay? If everybody was really, really honest, we're all like that at some point. So your energy's changed. Okay, you're looking at a new beginning. You're looking at taking a leap of faith. You could be moving. You could have even met somebody who's kind of piqued your interest a bit. Somebody else who's in your energy. Okay, but you're ready. You're ready to go. You're ready to fly. Let's see what's going on in their environment. Let's have a look. Where's the deck I wanted to use? No, we don't want that one. We'll get there in a minute, honestly. Oh, this one. This is the one I wanted. Let's have a look. See what's going on in their environment. I don't think they want you to know what's going on in their environment. No, they don't. It's really, that is bang on. The High Priestess has come out in the moon. They don't want you to know what's going on. But I'll tell you what's going on, okay? They're keeping secrets. They're keeping their emotions hidden where they are. They're burying their emotions. They're quite cool and detached to the people that they are surrounding themselves with and who they're talking to. All right? But what they're trying to do is let go of other people's belief systems that were fed to them. Okay, they're trying to break through, but within their environment as a whole, there is a lot of secrecy, a lot of things are unsaid. Your person doesn't feel there's a clear path for them at the moment. Everything is not as it seems. Now, there's many ways you can take this, but I just heard to tell you that if you think this person doesn't care about you, or say you've seen something or you've heard something, that isn't the case, okay? They're not sleeping. You know, the moon is a card of anxiety. It can be a card of depression, okay? But it's also a card of suppressed emotions. But with the High Priestess and the moon here, there's a lot of secrets in your person's day-to-day life. There's a lot of unresolved emotions. A lot of sadness, I just heard, okay? And they are keeping that secret from you. Now, especially I'm hearing if you've had some contact with this person, okay, where the contact was just matter of fact and polite. So this is just an example. Say you shared say you shared a place to live and you needed to get some stuff out of that, or you're tying up some loose ends in a long-term relationship. That is being done in a sort of very professional manner, okay? There's not any terms of endearment being expressed. No, I miss you, or I love you, or I really wish this hadn't happened. But that's not what they want, okay? They want to be more than friends. They want more. They want more than that. Yeah, the unknown, bottom of the deck. Ten of Swords. This was a messy, horrible ending. You know, somebody, I feel, felt very stabbed in the back, and somebody just walked away. Okay. Yeah, this is a beautiful deck. This card, it always reminds me of somebody just turning to ice, like you didn't exist. and you know, they left you crying. They left you absolutely broken, okay? That's why the bridges have been burned. That's why the bridges have been burned. Anything else, please, on this person's environment? Okay, they're looking to move. They've put something in motion. This is what you don't know. This is massively specific, but they've put something in motion. They've put some feelers out, as we say in the UK, or they've put something into the ether, okay, so that they can move. They want to move, all right. They've got their eye on different living accommodation. Yeah, because in the environment as well, we've got the Five of Wands at the bottom, so there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people who think that they're right. There's a lot of other people involved, and there's two people particularly who don't get on. Okay, not you and your person. There's two other people in this energy that don't get on. All right, I think you were a peacemaker in something. You were definitely a peacemaker. Let's have another look. Let's see what else we've got in the environment. Environment, please. Ah, yeah, there we go. And we've got the identifier card, Queen of Wands in reverse. So yeah, you were the peacemaker with a fire sign, female energy. Okay, this female could have been a seductress. Females, Queen of Wands in reverse is someone who can be a seductress who will charm the birds out of the trees. You know, that is the energy of someone who has no qualms about taking somebody else's partner. You could be best friends with them, but they will still take your partner. Okay, it's a bit blunt, but it's the truth. All right. Yeah, this other person tries to impose their values and their beliefs, especially on other people, but your person doesn't like that. They're backing away from that. Okay, they're backing away. In fact, I'd almost go to say that specifically this is one of the reasons why your person is looking at relocating, moving property, or actually leaving this friend group or a friend group. Okay, let's see what else I'd like to say to you, and then we'll go to the outcome. I can't make a decision. Drugs and alcohol have been a problem. I'm scared of rejection. Okay, right. Going back to the drugs and alcohol, this ties into the round and round, same sort of mistakes. How did I get here again? So if you were connected into somebody who'd got any addiction problems, it can be, the ones I've mentioned, or it could be anything. It can be, watching videos online, you know what I mean? I can't say it on YouTube. Any form of addiction. Okay. They've realised that they are self-sabotaging their life with this addiction. And this is causing them sleepless nights because they're waking up to the fact that they've just been going around in circles and using whatever addiction they've got as a crutch. Okay. But they are scared of rejection. But I'm not surprised really, because I think they took this female energy side, this Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay. Like I say, this Queen of Wands can be lovely. Shallow, but nice, and they're always ready to help you out. But boy, in this energy, there's always a reason. There's always a reason. It really speaks to me, this card, always, of the person that you can have as a friend in your social group, and they come round, and chat and everything, but then behind the scenes, they're trying to work out how to get your person. Okay? So yeah, your person's scared of you rejecting them, but I think, your energy's changed. You're about to embark on something different. You could be travelling, okay? You've just had it. You've literally had it with all of this. All right, so let's see if they're going to come forward. I'm not so sure. I'm not too sure, but let's see what the cards want to say. Is this person coming forward? Are they going to make any attempt to come forward, please? No, I don't see it at the moment, Seven of Pentacles. I think you'll be waiting, okay? They're still holding on to you, but they're just very much in their anxiety at the moment, okay? They're not sleeping, they're worrying, they're They're going round in a circle, all right, but they are still holding on to you, okay? They're looking at the good times. They're looking at all the time and love and effort you invested into this connection. But I don't see them at the moment making a move. What's the unknown, please? Three of Swords. No. It's because I think there were third parties here. And because of that, they're scared that you will reject them because of third party energy predominantly. Yeah, they're spending a lot of time looking at the past, okay? They spend a lot of time. Specifically, somebody's here spending a lot of time looking at how they played around a bit, okay? Whether the relationship ended because of a third party or your person just overstepped the mark. There was something they were doing that you didn't like. It could even just be liking other people's posts. You know, something made you feel uneasy, okay? They're spending a lot of time going round and round in their head about this. So I think what you should do is embrace that Fool energy. Embrace it. There's a card for you. This flew out. Embrace that Fool energy. Enjoy your life. Make the most of. Just go for it. Do different things. But this has flown out. Obviously, Spirit wants to say there is going to be a message in a bottle at some point. Okay. Once you change the story, if you go and just live your life, because you're worthy of that. You don't have to be validated by this person. You are enough. You are amazing. You are wonderful. You're the best just because you exist, just because you breathe, okay? Take the risk. Take that risk. Go to the edge. Whatever it is in your life, do it, okay? Do it. And if you're waiting for a move, know that you're also going to get a message about that. But yeah, they probably will show up eventually, but I don't see it until, I would say it'll be autumn, winter. I don't see it this summer, okay? So I'll leave that with you. Take care. Look after yourselves. I love you all very much. And just always remember, you are wonderful, okay? You are wonderful. You are precious. You are loved. And you are chosen, okay? And you don't need anybody's validation, all right? I love you all. Take care. Bye.